Soak pit. Soak pit. It is a covered, porous-walled chamber that allows water to slowly soak into the ground. Pre-settled effluent from a collection and treatment plant is discharged to the underground chamber from which it infiltrates into the surrounding soil. Design consideration. It is a simple pit, approximately 1 meter cube, should be between 1.5 and 4 meter deep. It should be located at a safe distance from a drinking water source, ideally more than 30 meter. The soak pit that should be kept away from high traffic areas so that the soil above and around it is not compacted. A layer of sand and fine gravel should be spread across the bottom to help disperse the flow. It can be left empty and lined with a porous material to provide support and prevent collapse. Otherwise left unlined and filled with coarse rocks and gravel. The rocks and gravel will prevent the walls from collapsing, but it will still provide adequate space for the wastewater. Operation and maintenance. A well-sized soak pit should last between 3 and 5 years without maintenance. To extend the life of a soak pit, care should be taken to ensure that the effluent has been clarified and/or filtered to prevent the excessive buildup of solids. Particles and biomass will eventually clog the pit and it will need to be cleaned or moved. When the performance of the soak pit deteriorates, the material inside the soak pit can be excavated and refilled. Applicability. Soak pits are appropriate for rural and pre-urban settlements. They depend on soil with a sufficient absorptive capacity, whereas clay soils as well as hard-packed or rocky soils are not appropriate. They can be used in almost every temperature. They are not appropriate for areas prone to flooding or that have high groundwater tables. It should be constructed in a distance of at least 30 meters from drinking water wells in order to prevent cross-contamination. The groundwater table is at least 1.5 meter below the soak pit. Advantages. Can be built and repaired with locally available materials. Small land area is required. Technique simple to apply for all users. Recharging groundwater bodies. Low capital costs, low operating costs. Disadvantages. Primary treatment is required to prevent clogging. May negatively affect soil and groundwater properties. Applicable only where soil conditions allow infiltration. The groundwater table is at least 1.5 meters below the soak pit. Applicable where there is no risk for flooding and any water well is in a distance of at least 30 meters. Should be avoided for high daily volumes of discharged effluents.